Obeisance. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hrudayantasto Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhitsatam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 18, Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet, Text 19 and 20. Prakalpyavatsam Kapilam Siddha Sankalpana Mahim Siddhim Navahasi Vidyam Cha Echa Vidyadaradaya. Synonyms: Prakalpya, appointing; Vatsam, calf; Kapilam, the great sage Kapila; Siddha, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka; Sankalpana Mayim, proceeding from will; Siddhim, yogic, perfection; Navasi, in the sky; Vidhyam, knowledge; Cha, also; those who; Cha, also; Vidyadharana, Vidya Dhara Adaya, the inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka, and so on. Translation and is purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After this, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka as well as the inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka transformed the great sage Kapila into a calf, and making the whole sky into a pot, they milked out specific yogic mystic powers, beginning with Anima. Indeed, the inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka acquired the art of flying in the sky. Purport: the inhabitants of both Siddhaloka and Vidyadhara Loka are naturally endowed with mystic yogic powers by which they not only can fly in outer space without a vehicle, but can also fly from one planet to another simply by exerting their will. Just as fish can swim within water, the residents of Vidyadhara Loka can swim in the ocean of air. As far as the inhabitants of Siddhaloka are concerned, they are endowed with all mystic powers. The yogis in this planet practice the eightfold yogic mysticism, namely yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. By regularly practicing the yogic processes one after another, the yogis attain various perfections. They can become smaller than the smallest, heavier than the heaviest, etc. They can even manufacture a planet, get whatever they like, and control whatever man they want. All the residents of Siddhaloka are naturally endowed with these mystic yogic powers. It is certainly a very wonderful thing if we see a person on this planet flying in the sky without a vehicle. But in Vidyadhara Loka, such flying is as commonplace as a bird flying in the sky. Similarly, in Siddhaloka, all the inhabitants are great yogis, perfect in mystic powers. The name of Kapila Muni is significant in these words because he was the expounder of the Sankhya philosophical system, and his father Kardama Muni was a great yogi and mystic. Indeed, Kardama Muni prepared a great aeroplane which was as large as a small town and had various gardens, palatial buildings, servants and maid servants. With all this paraphernalia, Kapila Deva's mother Devahuti and his father Kardama Muni traveled all over the universe and visited different planets. Text number 22. Anye chamahino mayam antardhanadbhuthatmanam mayam prakalpya vatsamte dudur dharana mayim. Synonyms: Anye, others; Cha, also; Mahina, mystic; magicians; Mayam, mystic powers; Anthardhana, disappearing; Adbhuta, wonderful; Atmanam, of the body; Mayam, the demon named Maya; Prakalpya, making; Vatsam, the calf; they; Duduhu, milked out; Dharana, Mayim, proceeding from will. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: others also, the inhabitants of planets known as Kimpurusa Loka, made the demon Maya into a calf and they milked out mystic powers by which one can disappear immediately from others' vision and appear again in different form. Purport: it is said that the inhabitants of Kimpurusaloka can perform many wonderful mystic demonstrations. In other words, they can exhibit as many wonderful things as one can imagine. The inhabitants of this planet can do whatever they like or whatever they imagine. Such powers are also mystic powers. The possession of such mystic powers is called Isita. The demons generally learn such mystic powers by the practice of yoga. In the Samaskanda, 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a vivid description of how the demons appear before Krishna in various wonderful forms. For instance, Bakasura appeared before Krishna and his cohort boyfriends as a gigantic crane. While present on this planet, Lord Krishna had to fight many demons who could exhibit the wonderful mystic powers of Kimpurusaloka. Although the inhabitants of Kimpurusaloka are naturally endowed with such powers, one can attain these powers on this planet by performing different yogic practices. The send of purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshur Unmitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mahovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Romapada Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from the all assembled Vaishnavas in order to glorify the Lord, so that I cannot speak any misinterpretation, shortcomings, or any speculations. So basically, I'm summarizing these verses from purports and a lecture from a couple of lectures from ISKCON Hyderabad. So, in this particular section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj milks the earth planet, name it chapter name. So, we have seen uh, that the kingdom, the inhabitants of that kingdom, not getting the necessary foodstuffs in grains. So Prithu Maharaj contemplated and found the reason that Mother Earth was not providing the grains. So he started attacking her for not providing foodstuffs, and finally gave various reasons why she should not be killed, but still punishing her because of not providing necessary foodstuffs. So this is the background we have seen in the previous chapter and previous verses. And finally, Mother Earth agreed to provide foodstuffs upon ask of the Prithu Maharaj for various living entities. And here we are seeing that various inhabitants of different lokas started approaching Mother Earth in the form of cow and receiving grains as per their interest. But it is very difficult to conceive or very difficult to understand this concept, because how they can come and how they can take all these necessary things from Mother Earth is very uh, beyond our conception in generally speaking. So modern man with limited knowledge thinks that there are inhabitants in this planet only, like Prabhupada says, there is nothing beyond. In other planets there are nothing, but actually there are various types of living entities in various planets. From Bhagavatam we all know, and we are able to live in this particular planet same way as same way there are different living entities in different planets. Example, in sun planet there is a sun god we have studied in Bhagavad Gita. So there they may have different body, I mean, like with different proportionals, like we have, but they have fiery body, example, in the sun planet. So this is one kind of example. So in that way we need to have that faith that there are different type and innumerable planets with different type of living entities. So one should have that faith in the scriptures and in the supreme Lord, that there are so many planets with different living entities and they may have various capacities, like us human beings in this planet, we may have particular capacity to act in certain way. Certainly they will have their abilities to think in particular way. That's the reason we are seeing all these mystic powers in these two purports. So next, in the purport it says that inhabitants, as per their karma with particular abilities, uh, they will get different type of bodies and everything, all the mystic powers according to their desires. Of course, these all coming from Supreme Lord himself. The Lord is Yogeshwara, the master of all siddhis. He can give, since he has that ability. But whereas the modern scientists or the modern society, it's very difficult to uh, make them to understand all these things. A lot of things are coming, like rockets and whatever, AI and etc. We are wasting a lot of time, capital, and energy, but nothing progress. Nothing in the progress we have seen. So, in addition to that context, the inhabitants of the Siddha Loka and Vidyahara Loka are naturally endowed with mystic powers, and they can create all these things, and they came to the Mother Earth and they are asking according to their desires. Now here, Mother Earth is fulfilling all their desires. She is Dharani. Is like a full of she got full of gifts in their room, and she's giving all these things. Next, uh, but devotees, whereas they never endeavor all these things in generally speaking, just they care about the pure devotional service. That's it. Of course, when we desire, Lord gives according to that. uh, if you desire for heavenly planet, yes, it fulfill, but we are not desiring those things at all. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, we know, right? Ya yata mam prapadyante tans tataiva bhajam yaham. According to our own desires, we can go to the heavenly planets, but we are not desiring. Similarly, yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitri vrata. So whatever we desire, in previous verses also we have seen that according to our desires, our karma and everything, we can go there, we can get all these mystic powers if we do the austerity, but we are not desiring for those things at all. Our ultimate goal is that anyabhilasha shunyam gnana karmadi anavritam anukulela krishnesu Anushīlanam Bhaktir Uttamam. So one has to serve Krishna in a favorable way, that which is pleasing to him, giving up all the material desires. That is what we need to desire every time. We have seen in the first canto and third canto, like examples from Dhruva Maharaj. Just he has only will to for the pure devotional service. Immediately, Lord arranged the Narada Muni in front of him, and he have seen the Lord Vishnu. Similarly, when Maharaj Parikshit got this curse, similarly, in within 7 days, you need to understand everything. Lord arranged Sukadev Goswami, and he learned many things from him, because they have that eagerness to serve the Lord. We will also need to develop that intensity, that service attitude towards the Lord. But not like sometimes I will come to the temple like Janmashtami or some festivals, and the remaining time it's my own time, I can enjoy my senses. That tendency we need to remove it, that tendency we need to overcome it. So every day, every moment is, we need to think about the Lord, we need to serve about the Lord. That is what determination, that is what we need to develop. And the next thing, last finally, in the 20th verse also it says that the inhabitants of Kim Purusha Loka can perform many wonderful mystic demonstrations. It is very, very difficult to conceive or to understand all these practices, yoga practices. But ultimately, we need to practice only our devotional service, practice in such a way that we need to advance without any all these things. Because what happens when you are thinking or when you are desiring for this mystic powers, and we may get a thought or a way, things like, okay, I'm controlling, I'm doing everything, so in that way we might deviate by desiring all these things. But again, we need to have the faith on these things in such a way that, but we should not desire for those things at all. And next thing, we have seen a lot of examples in our modern society or modern technology that, for example, Wright brothers, they have invented aeroplanes. They have copied from like birds can fly, so we can make a equipment or a device such that it can go from one planet or one area to another area. But though again, whatever the latest technologies we are developing, those are on the material senses, material platform, not originated from the super soul at all. That's the reason we are seeing a lot of plane crashes, accidents, etc. Why? Because those are completely on the material platform, not on the spiritual platform. Of course, birds are coming. In the birds also there is a super soul exists in them. They are flying one area to another area, but there are no accidents because they have support from the super soul. So similarly, whatever coming from the super soul, when we have that those things, when we exhibit in on those activities and etc., definitely they will have that power in nature, natural power. So that we can see that we need to understand that yes, super soul is exist in each and every entity, in each and every body. And watching the soul, that of course soul is enjoying with the senses. When soul turns towards the super soul gives that intelligence, though we can turn towards the supreme personality. That's the reason in 1515 we also know Sarvasya Chaham Nidhi Sannivishta. Each and every minute, soul is super soul is watching in order to turn towards the super soul. So in for all these activities, we need to put our endeavor towards the Lord in order to understand and in order to progress. This is what we need to achieve in every day, and this is our day-to-day activities practices has to be aligned according to that. Then only it will be favorable for us. That is ultimately Anyabhilasha Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So this is what my understanding for today. I will stop here. Thanks again for giving me opportunity for purification myself. And please